What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, the Jeep's going orange. So as most of you know, I have vinyl wrapped the Jeep a few times, including the current matte metallic black that's on there right now. But I went ahead and ordered some gloss orange vinyl from Vivid Vinyls. So that just came in, and I'm gonna do, this is not a full-blown tutorial on the vinyl install. I'm gonna show you guys how I do it. Obviously, I'm not a professional vinyl wrap person. So yeah, the first step is actually gonna be taking the Jeep to the car wash, getting it all cleaned up, and we'll go from there. So I just spent the last hour and a half pulling off the old vinyl. Still need to do the hood, but as you can see, we're back down to the paint. Obviously, I went ahead and washed it, but we need to go over this entire Jeep and just kind of clean up all of the edges, make sure that we're getting all the grime out. And I'm just gonna use some alcohol to wipe down the entire Jeep, make sure that it's ready to go, and then we'll get to wrapping. Even after I washed it, I'm still getting quite a bit of grime off of the Jeep. The more that you can clean it, the better that you can prepare the surface, the better your wrap's gonna turn out. Pulled off the door handles and the mirror and this little plastic piece that goes here. Next up, I'm actually going to lock the door, and so that it is not going to pop back off. Pull these hinges off, and then we'll go ahead and start laying some vinyl. I think we're ready to start laying some vinyl. And here it is. We're going with orange. Now the vinyl that I'm using is from a company called Vivid Vinyls. They're based out of Canada. I've used them before in the past for the matte black, matte metallic that I used. And I already know that I'm gonna get some questions about how much vinyl you need to actually wrap your Jeep. Frankly, my Jeep's not really one to compare yours with. I use about 25 feet. Really, you're just gonna have to measure it out for yourself. Their vinyl is actually pretty affordable, and that way I don't feel so bad if I mess it up and need to order some more. So the next step is just gonna be laying the vinyl onto the body of the Jeep. I'm actually gonna do this in sections. So the back half of this, I'm gonna wrap in one piece, and I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm not taking these off, so I'm cutting it off right across there. The door I'm gonna wrap separately, and then the front fender and cowl pieces, those will be separate as well. So I'm gonna throw you guys on a time lapse and let you watch me work. So the vinyl itself is actually pretty forgiving. Generally what I'll do is lay it out and then kind of squeegee down one portion of it so I've got it nice and firm and in place, and then peel back and stretch it over. Then it's just a quick squeegee, get out any remaining air bubbles. I'm gonna come back in here and heat around these corners so that the vinyl will kind of sink in, and then I'll do all my trimming. But overall, not too bad. Couple relief cuts in here so that the vinyl can kind of do what it wants to do. All right, guys, so it's taken quite a bit of time, but we're getting there little by little. One of the hardest parts that you're going to run into, especially on a Jeep Wrangler, specifically on a Jeep Wrangler rather, is going to be these door hinges. So you're going to have to kind of stretch into the hinge a little bit. I'm about halfway done with it here. What's going to end up happening is I'm probably gonna heat and stretch down into this little ridge, and then if I do find myself catching any like air bubbles or anything like I have here, what I'm gonna do is just go back and pop those bubbles, just a small little prick with the X-Acto knife, and then push the air out of there, and that should be fine. And then this other part that's going to be interesting is here on the door handle. So where the door handle goes, I'm going to cut out these holes, and that'll be fine. This one, I'm going to heat up as much as I can and then kind of stretch it down into that hole. So that should be interesting. I've done that one before, but it is kind of a pain. So we'll see how that goes. I did trim around the door lock. That was pretty easy. Let me turn you guys around. So after that, it's just gonna be laying the vinyl down into the window, and then cutting out the window, obviously, and then laying it down into the crevice, and then putting the rubber pieces back on. But yeah, so I didn't really show you guys how I got the door handles off. It's kind of a pain. I might show you on the other side. But the door handles, the hinges, the mirrors, the antenna, the fenders, all of that's got to come off to be able to lay the vinyl. So basically anything that's sticking off of the Jeep needs to be removed so that you can lay the vinyl a little bit easier. So I'm gonna get back to work on these hinges over here, clean those up a little bit, and I will show you guys the result. Okay, so one of the tricks that I've learned when you're doing the door hinge, I'm halfway done, as you can see here. Not the door hinge, the where the door handle goes, is I make a small incision in the vinyl right here, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna be covered up by the door handle, so you'll never see that. But it's gonna allow me to have the air escape as I heat this and push that in. Just a little heat goes a long ways. And I'm working my way to that opening. And there you have it. So small little incision. You're never gonna see that behind the door handle. It's never gonna let any moisture or anything in there. And this is now perfectly seated to the door. All right, so I got the door all trimmed out, the window rather. I'm gonna go ahead and put the rubber parts back on, put the door handle on, the hinges, and then I'm gonna go back and trim around the door edge to finish that up. Got the door all wrapped up. Time to put the door handle back on. And I'll go back in the back and bolt that on. So when you're messing with this, you're gonna have to remove the inner door panel. And then as part of that, this hole is already there. It's easy for you to access so that you're not gonna be able to see, but you can put that nut on for the door handle. This hole I had to make myself, and being that there's an inner door panel that'll go back on there, I didn't worry about making that too pretty. Now, when you're putting these bolts back on, you want to make sure that you are not going to drop the tiny 8mm nuts into the door, because you will probably never get it out. All right, so I got the door handle snug back down. I'm going to reinstall the mirror and the little trim piece that goes in the front corner of the window there, and then it's just putting all the seals back on, door panel, and the door will be finished. This windshield piece, so this windshield piece is actually going to be a little bit tricky to wrap because of how many bends it has. I may end up doing it in 2 pieces, but I'm going to try 1 piece. I did, however, order a set of orange powder coated replacement bolts from Route 66, and those should blend in with the vinyl really well. So we'll see how that works. These are the Route 66 replacement bolts here, and I would say that matches pretty perfect. we got it done. That was a lot of work. This is actually day 2 of working on the Jeep, about a week apart actually. So I for those of you that follow me on Instagram, you noticed that I did most of the wrap itself a couple weeks ago, and then I've just been kind of waiting for another day off where it wasn't raining to be able to finish up. I will say, this isn't the idea I had when I started, but I think I kind of love it. Let me show you guys up close. So yeah, we still have to do all of the vinyl logos on the Jeep, get it ready for Jeep Beach. And I've got kind of the next project is actually going to be to do with the bed. So we've got a lot to get done before Jeep Beach. I still have like 25-foot roll of the orange vinyl. That's going to come in handy for the next part of the project. But nevertheless, stay tuned for the next video. We are on officially Jeep Beach crunch time. So it is just a matter of us getting this thing finished up for the show. It is going to be in the Great Tops booth. So if you guys have any questions or you want to come and see it in person and you're at Jeep Beach, feel free to stop by. But yeah, that's all I got for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Stay tuned because I think the next video is actually going to be a little bit interesting. I'll give you a little hint. We may be saying goodbye to the flatbed. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys next time.